Hey, welcome everybody to another round of Sketch Up on this beautiful Thursday evening. We've got a loaded house tonight.
Yes.
We have James Aquilone, Zach, and Zach Atkinson. They'll be talking about their project. Um, and we also have Patrick Bleine, Les Garner, and Fang Fang is back today as well. Right, so don't go away. We'll be right back. Hey, welcome back again, everybody, for SketchUp. Thanks for joining us. Today we have James Aquilone. Can you guys hear me okay?
Yep.
Okay. I heard a little squeak there, so I wasn't sure. We have James Aquilone and Zach Atkinson. They'll be talking about their project. We also have Patrick Bleine. Les Garner is back, and he's going to give us an update on Bride. And also, Fang Fang is ready to launch a new campaign, so we'll be getting to that as well. Right, so James, you've been around for a while, and you've got several titles under your belt. All of it seems to be like in the supernatural genre. How long have you been doing this kind of writing? And is there other genres that you like to get in as well?
Well, I mean, I've really been writing this since I was a teenager, but not really professionally until about 12 years ago. And then only maybe about 4 years that I've been doing the Kickstarters. So it's kind of been throughout my life, but only been really successful for like the last 2 years.
Is there a favorite story or title that you like personally that you've done? Because you've got several.
Well, we have the license for Kolchak the Night Stalker. So we've been doing a lot of Kolchak stuff for the last couple of years, and then I really love doing the Kolchak books and stories.
I love the Night Stalker series. I used to just run home to watch that series to catch it. That was a great series. And as a kid growing up, that was kind of like spooky then, but man, it was so thrilling to watch that. Now that series, that graphic novel, that won several awards for you. Did it?
Yeah, we did the Kolchak the Night Stalker 50th anniversary graphic novel a couple of years ago. We did a Kickstarter for that, and it did really well. And then it won about 4 awards in like 2023. We won a Bram Stoker Award, Rondo Hatton Award, and I forget what else we won. But we won a bunch of awards. I think we were up for 4 awards, and we won all 4. A Scribe Award from the International Media Tie-In Writers, and an Imagine Award. Yeah, it did really well.
Wow. For that graphic novel, how many pages was that? Did you story-wise?
It was 188 pages of comics, and then we also did 10 prose stories that we put into the deluxe edition. So that was about 250 pages overall. So the hardcover is 250 pages, and the soft cover that's just the comics is about 188.
Now, is this something that people can still get? And where can they get this?
You can. We sold out of almost all of it, but you can get some of the. You can still get the paperback, I think, through Monsters Books. That's right now. That's the only place you can get it. But I'm going to be re-releasing it next year with a new cover. So next year, then it'll be a little bit easier to get, and it should be in bookstores too.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Okay. So you're really going to put that one out there. Okay. So you have a new series that's coming up that you've launched, Darkest Death, which is another anthology of horror stories. But before we get into that, can you tell us about Omega 11? That's something else that you just a campaign that just finished for you.
Yeah. So me and Zach do that, and that was actually Zach's idea. Zach came up with this idea for a comic book series with Dr. Omega, who is a public domain character from way back, who was supposedly the inspiration for Doctor Who.
Yeah.
So his idea was that he would time travel and then gather up all these other characters to pull off these crazy heists. So when he came up with that idea and he brought it to me, I said that sounds amazing and let's do it. So we did the first Kickstarter for that last year. Last year it was issue 1, and then this year we did issue 2. Issue 1 is out now, and you can get that through Monsters Books too. And we're still working on issue 2. Hopefully we'll get that out by the end of this year.
All right, some interesting trivia that Steve put out there. He's telling me, did you know that Jethro Tull has a song about James Aquilone? It happens to be their biggest hit.
I used to say that to me all the time as a kid.
Yeah. So is that the only book that you and Zach have worked on, or have you guys teamed up before?
No, we've done a lot of stuff. Yeah.
Oh, you guys did? Okay.
I color a lot of books for James. Like a lot of the Kolchak stuff I color.
Oh, okay.
And,
yeah, he did most of the coloring for that 50th anniversary book.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Okay.
I'm kind of his house colorist when I'm not drawing.
Okay. And you, Zach, you've been around for a while as well, right? So how did you break into comics?
Oh, well, I was a nerd, and in high school, I always wanted to draw, but I broke in as a colorist really like right after high school. There was a place. I'm from a very small town, and all the towns around me are real small, but they did have like a place that was subcontracting. Now this is back in like the late 90s, so it was a long time ago, and they were subcontracting work from DC Comics, and they were a colorist studio, but they were back then they weren't colorists; they were color separators. The colorist would still color stuff on like with watercolors and markers and stuff on Xerox copies of the original art, and then they would mail the original art to us. We'd scan it in and we try to match it on these old archaic like Power Macs, and we tried to match what the colorist did with Photoshop. It was like Photoshop 3.5 and Photoshop 4 back then, and that's where I started. It was called Heroic Age Studios, and after a while, I started that job kind of became redundant, and then colorists just started becoming more digital as computers were evolved enough to where one person can do a whole book on the computer. So I was able to sort of branch out and get books to color that way.
What was your first major book property that you worked on?
That I worked on? One of the first books I colored was Batman versus Predator.
Oh, wow. Was that the first series?
It was the one, not the one that was drawn by Kubert. It would have been the second one.
Okay, the second one. Oh, yeah, because that's right. You started in the later 90s. Yeah, so it would be the second one.
So it's the one that had Robin. So it would have been like Batman versus Predator 2. So like the first pages I ever did professionally would have been in that book, I think.
Okay. I'm going to have to check. I know I have that series, so I'm going to have to go check that out.
I didn't know there was a Batman versus Predator.
There was.
So I'm guessing Batman won at the end? I mean, that's why he's alive, but
Predator gave him a rough time. That first, I don't know about the book I worked on, but that first series was awesome.
That was a great one. And you're supposed to do a book with that Mog. And now another guy, Patrick, also came in the 90s, but in the early 90s. Who did you start with, Patrick?
I actually started at Shadowline under Jim Valentino, doing some Shadowhawk stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you pretty much stayed with Image, because after that you went to like Top Cow.
Yeah, I worked for him for a year or so, and then the whole Image boom kind of died, and or at least the whole comic industry kind of got smaller at that point.
Right.
Yeah. Eventually, I ended up at the Top Cow studio in around 2001.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But coming in with Shadowline, that was a time to like come in. There was like so much excitement and everything going on, and you coming at that moment. How old were you then, and how did that feel for you?
That was 1994, and I was like 25 years old or so, and I was the waiter, just drawing comics on the side, just like everybody does at the beginning, and so to be able to leave waiting and just go right into Image Comics was like a dream come true, because those guys were like rock stars to us,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Were you in the LA area at that time?
No, I was in Spokane, Washington, where I am again. But a friend of mine named Chance Wolf was inking Shadowhawk, and he lives in a city kind of close to Spokane, which is about 2 hours away. And he met a friend of mine who was like my buddy Jason Gorder, who was an inker as well. And Chance needed he wanted to hire us to do like some assistant work for him, and so that's how we kind of got in through the back door through Chance. So yeah. I
remember the name. It's hard to miss that name, but I never did. I don't think I've ever met Chance.
Oh, he's
interesting.
He did the first issue of Pit. He did the logo and the lettering. And then he did the logo for the Max, and he also painted the race car for Todd McFarlane when he had a race car.
Oh, awesome.
He was all over the place back then.
No kidding.
What?
Yeah.
That's the race car they brought over to San Diego Comic-Con and all the other shows that he did.
Yeah.
That was an awesome car. Yeah.
I remember that race car.
Yeah, he came from a science.
I'm not sure, but there's a show here, right? That's called Frankenson, the collectible show that happens like 3 times a week.
Yeah.
The guy that owns and runs it, I think he has that car, the McFarlane race car. Yeah, because he's big into like Indy 500 and stuff like that.
Are they still doing Frankenstein?
So he had it displayed in the warehouse. He's moved since then, the location of the show, so it's not. Right, so
I remember my buddy John Stinsman used to talk about going to Frankensons all the time because he used to be a big toy collector. He still is. But yeah, I lived down in LA for 10 years, so I heard a lot of stories about Frankensons, but I never got to see it. So.
Okay. All right. So you were down here for a while.
Yeah. I went down there to join Top Cow in 2001, and I was there until about 2010. So, yeah. So I loved LA.
So now you're.
Sorry.
And now you're doing. You just got done with the first issue of Hex, right? And that's for good friends Akira Crush Studios with Isaac Bell.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Issue 2 coming out soon?
We already started issue 2, but they're just now. They got the printed books finally for issue 1, and they're about to ship those off. So we're going to start issue 2 as soon as they get a couple other things checked off their list of things to do. But I can't wait to do issue 2 because I really working with Isaac and his wife Alexa is so fun, and it's one of those times when you just have that perfect chemistry and that synergy with a creative team that just and that doesn't always happen in comics, but when it does, it's like magic. So.
Yeah, and it helps that you guys are like into the 90s stuff as well.
Oh yeah,
which Isaac loves a lot. Yeah, and I feel that. Now you're also you're into your own creative story that you've got running currently, the Thunder Beats 509.
Yeah.
How's that going for you?
That's good. This is my first time doing a solo Kickstarter, so I think I've learned a lot of the lessons that you learn as a first timer. So it's doing okay, but I think I might need to relaunch it again later in the year if it doesn't get the minimum goal that I put down for this. But it's been a passion project of mine for the last half a year as I've been working on it, and so I just want to make sure it gets out there eventually to everybody that's been so supportive. So. Okay,
yeah, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But James also has his latest series that's also live, I believe, Darkest Depth, right? Which is an anthology of horror stories, and there's several horror anthologies out there. and it doesn't seem like the fans can get like enough of this stuff. We love reading and being scared, if you will, about this. So, but what is it about Darkest Death, James, that makes this stands out that people are going to want to back this?
Well, Darkest Steps is going to be a black and white anthology.
I like it already.
A bit old school with that. It's extreme horror story, so we're kind of like not putting, we're not censoring it or anything. So I'm encouraging everybody to kind of, go as gory and as gross and as bloody as you want, So we'll see how that works out. But since it's Kickstarter, we don't have to deal with comic book shops or anything. We can, and we're doing it directly to the fans. We can get away with it, So that's a little bit different for me because I do horror, but I don't usually do like the straight up horror stuff. So this is more like very hard hitting horror. So this has been fun, and I'm working with a bunch of different people. A lot of like extreme horror writers, like the guy like Nick Roberts, who he has a series called The Exorcist House, which has been very popular, and so. It's been just cool just been working with these guys who do the extreme horror stuff. But like I said, it's a little bit different for me, but it's been cool so far.
Yeah, that is different. What are some of the highlights about this Kickstarter that can excite the backers when they come to it?
So we have two really cool covers. We have one by J.K. Woodward, which is really awesome. It's kind of based on my story called The Gate, which is about these cave explorers who find this gate to hell. And so JK did this really cool cover. And we have Robert Hack did another cover that's based on my friend Taylor Grant story. Now, Taylor Grant was supposed to be a partner with us on this book. And then he passed away, though, in September. So we're kind of dedicating the book now to him. And the profits are going to go to his son. So whatever we raise past what the production costs will go to him. Nice.
Okay. Yeah. And if you guys want to check that out, the link is in the comments. So yeah, be sure you go ahead and do that. And if that's your forte, back it, share it, and like it if you please. Right. And speaking of horror, we have Les, who's relaunched his Brides. What's going on, Les?
Oh, wow. So the saga of Brides has picked up and lives again. So we relaunched. We have 8 days left, and we are fully funded to the tune of, we just broke 12K earlier tonight.
Wow.
Nice.
Wow.
Congratulations.
So
now, is that did you cross over from where you were when you launched it the first time?
I'm not sure I understand.
Okay.
Like
yeah,
the first time it was at about 17,000 when the publisher that I was with canceled the campaign for a variety of reasons. And I picked it up and relaunched it myself. So now we're at about 12K with a week left.
Okay. All right. So you're fast approaching from where you were. So hopefully you can top that, and that'll be
that would be nice. I would love to see it top that. But any way it cuts it, it's made my goal on it, and there's some stuff going on with Brides that I can't talk about publicly until May 31st. Okay. But there's a number of things going on with it that I'm super excited about. So there's
what can the backers be excited about if they go there now to your Kickstarter?
Let's see, we started out with the relaunch took place at FrankenCon in Knoxville, Tennessee, where we had a whole big live presentation thing showing the project off. I had taken one of the covers for the book, and it's branded with FrankenCon. So, and the only time that cover will be available on the Kickstarter. It was only available for 48 hours, but the demand was just so hot for it that it was just like, man, we've got to do this. And so we opened that back up. There are, counting that one, there's 9 different covers for it that are different paintings I did. So I have 9 different paintings
cool.
as available covers for that. There's also statues of Eva and the 3 brides of Dracula that I sculpted, and they're produced out of my shop here. So, that's a nice little, I love the statues because there's I call them the portrait covers. There's 4 covers that are portrait paintings of Eva and the 3 vampire brides. And the statues are sculpted from those paintings. So they, if you had the painting and then the statue sitting in front of it, you look at them and you're like, oh, that's that. They go together. And I love doing that. So
wow. What are those statues going for?
I don't even remember now. I've got a couple of friends who are managing most of it for me at this point, and I'm just like, and to give you an idea how brain fried I am, I'm sitting here doing this after I just knocked out 4 pencil ink pages today.
Well, we have the link in the comment as well, so people can go check it out.
Cool. Yeah, I literally have already knocked out 4 pages today, so I'm like, wow, just blah. Yeah, that's about my average. I have my day scheduled. I think I mentioned this to Mog last time. So my day is scheduled so that I can pencil and ink 4 pages a day. Wow. So.
Awesome.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And you did all the work for the entire project. Is that right? You did everything?
I'm doing everything except the lettering. The lettering's being handled by my friend Charles because I despise lettering. There's something, I actually despise coloring too. And I may end up having a young man named Nathan Lawson come in and work on some of the colors with me. He does colors on some of my projects here and there. But it just depends. I've got a methodology for doing my colors. It's really fast. So, but I lost my train of thought. I don't even know where I was there, but I was talking about colors and stuff. Anyway, what I can say is that the stuff to be announced on May 31st is guaranteeing that Brides will get volumes 2 and 3. So yeah, it's gonna go at least through volume 3, and then there's 6 other issues that have different titles that off of it. So it's really, the whole thing should be a 9-issue. And when I say issue, each issue is 40 pages. So it's the first three issues of this together are 120 pages. So
wow, okay. Yeah, that's good. That's a lot there. And what is the price point on that?
Oh, you would ask me price points. I'd have to look back. I know we have. I think we have the minimum tier for a physical copy of the book on the Kickstarter is, I think, $25.
Okay, yeah, I think that's right.
Something like that.
Right.
And then there's, obviously there's all kinds of other tiers and whatnot.
Sure.
So yeah, I was really stoked that there's this one cover that I love so much. It's a painting of my main girl Eva with these 2 wolves, and I did a sculpture of that is spot on to that painting, and I produced that sculpture. I sculpt digitally and then 3D print my sculpts. So I produced the sculpt and then I painted it and I put it on the new Kickstarter as a 1 of 1, and that actually went. That was gone on day 1. So that was super cool. I like the guy who picked that up. At this point, he's bought so much stuff from me that I know who he is. And it's one of those, after a while you get people who like your stuff, they buy a lot of it, and you get to know them. So I love it when that happens. Yeah, it's super cool when you can get people who are you can develop a relationship, a friendship with like that.
Oh yeah. All right. We're going to take a break, but before we do that, let's go around the room and see what everybody's working on and what you guys can bid on. Let's start with Mog. What are you working on?
Batgirl. I think the classic. I forgot her name. Is it Cassandra? No, Cassandra. Barbara.
Barbara Gordon.
Yes.
The Barbara Gordon. Okay.
She's on a ledge.
All right. And
down.
what are you asking for that?
Let's start with maybe 60. Yeah.
Well, okay. Starting low, $60 on a Batgirl from Mog. And just trying to get this in here. Sorry, guys.
Are you inking that too, or penciling it, or?
I'm gonna just pencil it, like render pretty nicely.
Nice.
Yeah. Thank you.
Looking beautiful.
You said 60?
Yeah.
Hey, what size is that?
It's about a 8.5 by 11, maybe 9 by 12 ish.
Yeah, that's bigger than 8.5 by
Yeah.
11. That's probably more like 9 by 12. Okay. And then Les, you are working on.
This is Eva from Brides. She's the main character. It's 11 by 17.
Nice.
Wow.
Oh, he's using the Sumi brush, the Chinese brush. That's cool.
That is like the greatest brush ever made. I love these.
That's looking nice there. Okay. And then Zach.
I found this House of Slaughter blank, so it made me want to do a zombie Sergeant Slaughter.
Nice. That's coming out nicely too. Love the look on that. You got the head pretty much almost zoned in there, so that's looking good. And then last but not least, Fang Fang. Jubilee in her Butterfly Tears book, right?
Yes, another cover.
Another one. So not only do you get that sketch, you're going to get that beautiful book from Fang Fang. So that's a great deal there. And she is taking a request for a second one if you guys want to. You can throw your request in the comments and see if she'll do that. All right, so we're going to take a little break after this. Hey, Drew! Mr. Drew Moss is in the room. Hi, Drew. Nice seeing you.
Hey,
looking
Drew.
forward to seeing you next month, dude. Anyway, so don't go away. We'll be right back. And right after this short commercial break.
Live from New York. What? Oh, sorry. Live from Cleveland? It's Friday night? It's Friday Night Live! With Nancy McCann. And Ricky. And sometimes Carlos. And featuring boxes and boxes of rare comics. Unique collectibles. Lots of smiles and conversations with new friends. Friday Night Live with Comics Unlimited. Friday night from 9 to 11 on The Experience.
According to a statistic that I just made up, people spend 4 hours a day changing the television channel. People who watch The Experience don't do that. Save yourself a ton of time by tuning into The Experience and enjoying our new original programming 7 days a week. And then tell your friends. Think about the money they could save on batteries in the remote alone just by tuning into The Experience. Find out more by scanning the QR code below. What do you call the place on Spider-Man's wrists where the webs come out? His website. I hate myself for writing that joke, but you'd make me feel so much better if you just visited our website. We have links to our merch, new release lists, all the show info, and so much more. TheEXPLive.com. in a world where you hit like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. That'd be really great. Thanks.
Welcome back, everyone. If you haven't yet, hit that follow button. Help us increase our viewers here so that way we can continue to bring you wonderful content like Kicking It with Honorine, the live shopping show every Tuesdays at 7 p.m. All right. So we're back. We have James Aquilone, Zach Atkinson, Patrick Bleine, Les Garner, and Fang Fang. And so, Fang Fang, you're getting ready to launch another campaign. Is that right?
Yes, Beauty 2. Now it's pre-launch stage. Yeah.
Okay. Is there a link for that too?
Pre-launch. Okay. Just pre-launch page, or you can show for the preview.
Okay,
page.
so they can go over to Kickstarter, look for it over there, and get on that and get the notification. Is that correct?
I try to find the link right now.
Okay. And how many pages is this going to be, Fang Fang? Is it there's going to be the same?
28, yeah, like the first one, 28 too.
Is this going to be more of an adult book, or are you still keeping this kind of more of a fantasy, or is it both? Or
What do you mean?
the story that you're doing, is this an adult theme book that's going into fantasy?
It's based on real history figure. Yeah, this beauty series, I focus on all the real beautiful women in history. That's the main goal for this book. Then the second one, I want to do the for beauty in Chinese ancient history first, then maybe explore it more later.
Okay.
Then first issue sell very well. Most my success campaign, probably because it's adult content, so it's more popular than my another campaign. Yeah. So
Okay.
right now, and she is the most famous one in the for great beauty. So
Wait, the second one?
yeah, the second one.
Is she the one who's like, what's her name? How do you say it?
Yang Yuhuan.
Oh, because in Korea we know her. We call her Yang Kibi.
Yeah,
I think we just kind of
feel like a whole Asia know her story because she is a very tragedy in the end and adored by the emperor.
Yeah, right? you tell them the story. It's just the history. It's not yours because you changed the historic, but
then you're giving it a
it's history. This is just she's telling the historical facts.
It's well-known history for whole Asian culture. Japanese love her too because her tragedy ends. The main stories, she adored by emperor, and it said her pretty beyond all the beautiful woman. She is the only one emperor love her, but in the end, she had to. Yeah.
Isn't she the one? Like she was raised as like a peasant girl or something. She was a peasant girl.
What's a peasant girl?
Commoner, not aristocrat. Like a. Like what? not an aristocrat.
I don't know the word.
Noble.
No.
There's a cast. There's a farmer girl.
Oh no, she her family is very high status, but she is often her dad died very when she was very young, so she's orphan. But she adopted by her uncle and training her to be a very high level lady, what's the word? Can say that word.
Okay.
But she's famous because her story is typically like she's young and beautiful, but very powerful and rich, right?
Yeah.
But everyone's like adore her a lot, but later you dig her real history, her story, background story. Actually, it's not that beautiful story because she used to marry Emperor's son first, but Emperor once like see her, she's so beautiful. I'm gonna get her. So so the Emperor is like much older than her. Emperor Mary, like
wait. He killed his own son, right?
No, he's not killed. He just say, "Oh, I want this beautiful woman. You have to divorce with him, or not like divorce. It's like, oh, you have to become mine." And his son is kind of like, "Oh, you're the king. I'm to give her to you." You know, yeah. So
the father took her away from the son, and then
and give her everything she can have, but in the end, she have to Emperor have to order her death to seize because there is a war, failed war, and all the armies feel like, oh, you. We're being through all of this because this woman, so she become the victim of the whole world. Yeah. So
hey, is it because I know there was a legend of, because I don't know which beauty it was, but there was a legend where, you know, like even though when she was sick, like she had a belly, like she had upset
third one.
That's the third one, right?
Yeah.
So it's not her yet.
Story I'm gonna create. I created a story because I want to use my feminine perspective to tell the story, because most of historical tell or just it's a tragedy and story, and most of history tell by the angle of the man how to write this woman. So I want to write the angle from how the woman sees her destiny, the whole story, events, how it look like that way. Yeah.
Interesting.
Different. Yeah. And for my first book, the first beauty one, Diao Chan, her story, I use her as the first angle, first role to tell the story. But this one, I use another angle because I kind of want to tell different angle that way. So I reminds me of give me an inspiration from my favorite movie, Melina, which is Monica Bellucci. Role, right? You know, everyone know the movie, right? So I like how the movie tell the story by the little kids, see the beauty, see the woman, how they experience the whole history events. I like the angle, so I use that perspective. Use that angle to it's like a normal young guys. He fall in love with this emperor lover. So I want to tell the story from that angle, then also tell the tragedy and the story. Sorry, my English is not that perfect. It's very limited. Want to explain more, but try.
Raise your hand if you didn't understand her.
To use my very basic English to try.
I'm sorry, I can't understand you. What did you say?
You definitely understand because
He did.
my
I bet you he didn't
language
care.
was quite low.
We
But,
understand you, Fang. We
I
understand
want to
you.
explain more, but
In a way, this kind of reminds me of that Helen of Troy, right? She was just a tool for
I think my
war.
first book is more like a Helen Troy because she caused the war of the two countries fight each other, right? My first book, Diao Chang, her story is like more like that.
Yeah, but also in a way, this one, in a way, they blamed her for the failure, right? They went to war
Yeah.
and they didn't succeed, and he needed a scapegoat, so he ended up just killing her.
Yeah, but Helen, she didn't get that bad situation, right? Yeah.
No.
I feel like her story is more like a Melina. That's my first impression. I feel like, oh, I should tell the story like that. It's like how beautiful she is, but in the end, is how cool the whole event treat her. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I got a question. Because I don't know all you guys all that well. Not yet. Anyway, I know Fang Fang does. Okay, so my question: Are you guys doing this full time?
I'm not.
You're not.
Yeah.
Zach is less. You are, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. All right.
Me too.
I was just kind of curious. Mog and I, we do this full time. What else? And I know not everybody does everything related to comics or directly related. What other projects are you guys? Do you guys work on? Like Mog in the past has worked on games, and yeah, she did the movie thing as well with Game of Thrones. What are you guys working on or have worked on?
Want me to start?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah, I used to work in video game advertising art and movie advertising art.
Uh-huh.
And that's when I learned to paint. And so recently I've also worked on another book called Kane, which is for a movie production company down in LA.
Mm-hmm.
I just finished 2 painted covers for them. I could show you here on my
Okay.
thing. I don't know if you can see that. This is
okay. Yeah, I did see that. That was you posted that not too long ago. That's really nice too.
Damn, that's dope.
That's badass, dude.
Beautiful.
And then I just finished another one today. I haven't showed anybody, but I can show you guys a preview of it. This is the thumbnail I did. I don't know if you can see the thumbnail. Just really rough thumbnail I have.
Oh wow,
that was fun.
It's an homage to an old Black Panther cover that Gil Kane did, where T-Rex.
Yeah. I was trying to figure out where I saw that. So thanks for reminding me.
Is it done in markers? I can't really quite tell.
What's that?
No, it says. Oh, that's a screen. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm holding up an iPad. Sorry. Yeah. But here's they actually had me draw it first, and so I drew this pen and ink version of it.
Ooh, nice.
But then after that, they said they wanted to have me go ahead and paint it. So I just spent the last few days painting this thing, and here's the final version of it.
Wow.
Nice.
You know, when you usually paint that, right? Do you, when you know you're gonna paint, do you fill in all the blacks like you did with the inking first?
No, I would normally not do any of that inking stage at all. I
right?
Just if I do a paint, I do a whole different process. But
I was going to ask, is that digital paint?
Yeah, it is Photoshop.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but yeah, I love painting stuff. But ever since the whole AI thing happened, I haven't done a whole lot of it. So it's kind of fun to get back into it again, just for these projects. But if anybody else is looking for a painter to paint a comic cover for them, hit me up because I'm looking for some work. So that'd be awesome.
Fantastic. Okay.
I have a kind of a off the topic type of question for you, Patrick.
Okay.
Do you like drinking?
Drinking
like alcohol? Do you like to drink?
Not really. Every once in a while, but not very often. Why?
No, just is it a dog at the back? I just saw something move.
That's my dog, Peanut. Yeah.
Is it a Yorkie?
No, he's a mix of a Yorkie. His mom was a Yorkie. His dad was a Lhasa Apso and a Chihuahua mix. So he's a mix of all sorts.
Oh my god!
I don't care what it is. You mix anything with a Chihuahua and it becomes.
Yeah.
It's a good boy.
So
why would you ask me about the drinking? That's funny.
You really remind me of my friend look almost bone structure, everything, hairstyle, everything like not twins, but similar vibe. And he loves drinking like a fish. So I'm like, oh my god, does this guy love drinking as well? I'm just
You got a bit of that. You got a bit of a Scots-Irish look to you.
Yeah,
we all tend to
blood
be
in you?
women in it.
Back when I was younger, I used to drink a lot, but now I'm older. You can't do that when you're an old guy.
Oh,
like me
so
anymore.
you used to drink, but
Oh yeah, back when I was in my 20s. But
okay.
you know how we are when you're
Yeah.
old. So
Yeah.
So-
At
so-
some point,
You were into
we
stuff
have
back
to
in the
stop.
90s, so
yeah.
Okay.
if the 90s didn't drive you to drink nothing with you.
The 90s, we would party at San Diego Comic Con and I have a few hazy nights back.
That's the 90s is when I was when I first started. I was like 19 in 93, and damn, dude, that was a wild time to be in this stuff.
Okay.
The 90s
Okay.
and the early 2000s was really wild at San Diego, man. If anybody there was during that time, oh god, there was some crazy stuff
Dude.
going on.
2005, me and Simon Bisley were out drinking together until
Oh shit!
4 a.m. Dude,
Wow.
and the running joke, the night started out with me, Simon, Garth Ennis, and Liam Sharp. And the next day, the running joke with everybody was only that damn hillbilly could hang with Simon.
Wow.
I've been drinking with Simon
And
Bisley too. That's hilarious.
I'll wear that shit with pride, man.
Time, Biz can put it down.
Oh my dude! So
You
here's
can
the
put
funniest
it down.
part. I have to share this story because it's like one of the
Please
funniest
do.
damn stories ever. So it's about 3:30 in the morning. Garth has gone off. Liam's gone off. It's just me and Simon, and we keep slamming bourbon shots because he's like, what do you drink, Kentucky boy? I'm like, Kentucky boy, bourbon, of course. So we're slamming bourbon, and then we're like, shit, man, we got to get to the hotel so we can blah 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 do the thing tomorrow. So we go out. There's no cabs around, and there's this little tiny Asian dude. I won't presume which nationality he's from, but little tiny Asian dude with one of those.
You're not talking about Jim Lee, are you?
No. Little tiny Asian dude on a bicycle with a little cart behind him. You know, one of the little taxi carts.
Yeah.
Now, keep in mind, I'm 6'2"
Oh
and
no.
about 275 pounds.
You didn't.
At that time?
Simon is taller than me and weighs more. So together, there's probably 500 pounds of drunken craziness hops in the back of this thing with this little Asian dude who I swear weighs like $105, if anything, trying to pull it. And he's huffing and huffing and huffing, trying to pull our big asses. And we get down on Main Street in San Diego. And finally, Simon leans over. He's like, it looked like he's having a hard time. It looked like he's having a rough time there, Mike. And I'm like, yeah, man, he's struggling pretty hard. Simon's like, oi! Starts yelling at him, oi, you bloody get your pedal any faster. You look like you need some fucking help, eh? And Simon jumps out of the thing, runs behind the cart, grabs it with both hands, and starts shoving on it. He's like, hey, I'll give you a fucking hand, mate. And starts shoving the thing down Main Street, San Diego. Simon's about 10 years older than me, so I've loved him since I was a teenager. And I'm laughing my ass off. I'm like, I am drunk in the middle of the night in San Diego in a little rickshaw with one of my childhood heroes, shoving it down the street. It doesn't get any better than this.
Oh man!
So it was a good time. That was one of my high point memories in this business was Simon shoving the little cart down the street.
I think anytime you're hanging around Simon, it's going to be a good time. There isn't anybody that comes back that doesn't have a story with Simon if they're hanging out with him.
You're doing it wrong.
So I'm guessing, Les, when you drink, I mean, or when you used to drink. I don't know.
Yeah, I
You
don't
like
anymore.
Yeah, right.
I am allowed 1 2-finger shot of bourbon a month. That's what I can have.
Wow. Okay.
And that's the doctor said you can't drink at all. And I was like, Doc, I'm gonna have 1 2-finger shot of bourbon a month. He's like, can you stop at that? I was like, yes, I can. He's like, okay, you can have that. So that's what we agreed on. So
Okay. You drink by yourself, or you like to drink with people?
I usually drink by myself or with my wife.
Okay.
So there's a little place in Paducah, Kentucky, where we live. Paducah is the town just about 15 minutes north of me. There's a little place there overlooking the river called the Barrel and Bond. That's this just, oh my God, it is heaven for bourbon lovers. It's super nice ambiance inside. It's all like bare wood and this beautiful old place.
Mhm.
So my wife and I will go in there and I'll get my drink and these days a 2-finger shot of bourbon that I would have slammed as just a starter in the evening years ago. Now I just sit and nip on that for a few hours. It's like, yep,
make it last.
Yep, I'm an old man now, so it's nipping time.
I do the same thing.
You guys still go to San Diego Con still?
I've only ever been to San Diego Con once, and it was that time. So I'm just like, we'll see.
How about you, James? Do you go to San Diego?
No, I've never been.
You never been, Zach?
Yeah, I've been there a couple times here last year and a few years before that I've been.
Oh, okay. Are you going back this year?
No, not this year.
Yeah, we don't usually do that show either. It's not. It's a good show, but there's like so many other shows around in LA area, SoCal area has so many cons. I'd rather just avoid all the trappings that it has, the traffic, the crowds, and all that.
Oh yeah, traffic.
Do these other ones, right? Because it's hard to deal with. It's not like before, like in the 90s and stuff. You could actually get into the parking lot and buy a pass for the whole weekend and have in and out privileges. Now you've got to make arrangements to get there, and then how are you going to get to the con and all that? It's it's
a little overblown these days.
Yeah.
I was here from like 94 till 2008. And then after that, I don't really want to go back because it became something else,
You're right. Right.
Yeah.
When I stopped going, it was about 2006, right? And then we went back. I think it was 2018 and maybe 2023, and then that's it. I haven't gone there yet for a while, and only because Ma gets invited to do a publisher will invite her over and sit at the table and stuff like that. Yeah, but don't really try to apply or to try and get in. Maybe one day, but right now I just don't see the need for it.
So, Les, if I heard you right, you live in Kentucky?
Yes.
What?
I am
Kentucky bourbon?
Bourbon? Yes.
I love bourbon.
So now in Kentucky, we have 2 things we drink. One is bourbon, and the other is this stuff. It's a soda, a ginger ale called Ale8.
I don't see it.
I see it.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Ale8. It's basically just a ginger ale that we make here locally.
Mm.
But the joke has always been that Kentucky mothers have 2 breasts because one shoots bourbon, the other one shoots Ale8.
Okay. I see. Dang.
Wow.
Dang. Anyway, Stevie B is asking you, Les, do you recommend doing the Kentucky Bourbon Trail?
Yes. Yes, I do. That is a wonderful thing to do. I'm familiar with the trail. I've never done the trail because I basically live in the middle of it. But it is a good thing to do. If you're a bourbon fan, that is the thing to come do. And then we also have there's a thing called the Purple Toad Winery. It's about 5 miles from my house. And that's really good locally produced wine.
We're going to have to come and visit you, Les. We'll stay for about a week or so.
No, you know what, Les? It's very simple. whatever con that we're meeting, wherever you con we happen to meet, just bring like a suitcase full of fur.
We'll make
Kentucky has a
trip.
Comic Con.
Yeah. There's Derby City Con in Louisville, and then there's the Lexington Comic Con.
Oh yeah, that's right, the Lexington one.
Yeah,
I
Lexington.
that one.
And then where I'm at is on the southwest tip of Kentucky. We're right across the river from Metropolis, Illinois.
Were you near those tornadoes the other day?
What's that?
Were you near those tornadoes the other day?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. We had 5 tornadoes touch down within a 20-mile radius of my farm.
That's crazy.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What'd you do? Did you like what do you call it with the wood?
I just kept working.
No. Like, don't they do that with the wood? They nail the wood on the wind.
They would.
Do you?
Oh no, that's for hurricanes. Yeah,
Oh.
tornado. That ain't gonna do nothing for you.
Oh, tornado.
Ain't gonna do a damn thing.
Just pray to God. Pray to goodness.
Pretty much. Well, the town just south of me, Mayfield, experienced a Cat 5 tornado in 2020.
Damn.
That wiped out half the town.
Oh yeah. Okay.
So it was a town. I think it's a town of about 15 to 20,000 people that got reduced to like. it's messed up. Like the whole reason I ended up moving out here, actually, I got invited to do a small little comic show in Paducah that was a benefit for the people of Mayfield. So I ended up being the only Kentucky artist at the show, and it just turned into a thing. And the locals here. There was just this whole big thing happen of a lot of cool people and stuff. And it just finally, I was like, you know what? Screw it. Let's move there. So we did.
Wow.
So I live directly between Mayfield and Paducah, Kentucky. So I'm in a little area called Hickory. But if you go driving through Mayfield, it's really quite sad. Like if you come in through the normal entryway to Mayfield, you'll see the sign that says "Welcome to Mayfield," and then you will see desolation.
Oh
Still,
man.
5 years later, like it looks like a bomb went off, and
Wow.
they're just now starting to rebuild some of it. Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah.
So it's really weird to be able to look at a town like that and then just drive right up the road to the next town, Paducah, and it's like nothing. There's nothing there. Nothing happened there. Just out of nowhere, they called that tornado the finger of God.
Right. Yeah. When it's a Cat 5, finger of God.
Yeah, it just whoosh, and you're gone.
It's just whatever it touches, it's just erasing. Yeah.
Yeah. It was when the movie Twisters came out recently.
Yeah, I saw that. It was good.
My wife and I went and saw that. But I tell you what, watching that movie is different when you watch it and you're in a theater full of people who experienced one.
Yeah.
Oh.
I bet.
It puts a whole different spin on that thing.
Oh, I bet.
How about you, Zach? Have you experienced anything like that?
Oh, a tornado? Yeah, I'm in
tornado
Illinois.
or any cataclysmic event like that?
Yeah, a tornado hit my town really bad when I was a kid. It tore up a town. Grew up in a town of about 800 people.
Wow.
Is right in the middle of cornfields, basically, and I live right in the middle of Illinois.
Really?
So yeah, so it wiped out my little town almost. And
you probably know Paducah then.
Yeah, I've driven through there before.
Yeah, you'd be right up the road from us.
I definitely been Metropolis before.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing the Superman celebration here in a couple of weeks over there.
Yeah, I've never done that, but I want to sometime.
It's a good day, man. Everybody has a lot of fun, and I've done it for the last couple of years, and it's always worthwhile.
Yeah, that's
okay.
cool.
What is there anything that gets you to drink, James? And he laughs.
I mean, I don't drink that much. Very rare.
Yeah, I can just tell. I can just tell when I look at James.
Uh-huh.
He's not a drinker.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know why.
I'm an eater. I'm not a drinker.
I think it's when we were talking about drinking, he was just politely smiling, like, yeah.
I'm never a drinker. Even when I was a kid, I never really drank. I didn't smoke. I didn't do any of that stuff.
What do you like to eat? Because we're foodies ourselves.
Let's break it down very easy. Do
Anything.
you like eating carbs more or protein more?
Doesn't matter.
Oh, I love donuts. I eat donuts all the time.
Oh, okay. You're a carb guy. Nice.
Yeah.
Did you say donuts?
Yeah.
That's funny because there's a donut shop that we kind of recently found that Mog likes, and she keeps bugging me to take her there. So, and I've taken her twice, I think, like this week, and that's a lot for us. But they are good donuts. What's your favorite kind of donut?
I usually get like the chocolate donut from Dunkin' Donuts or Boston cream.
Ah, okay.
Apple fritter.
Apple fritter there. Okay. What about you, Zach? Les?
I don't eat donuts.
Okay.
What?
It's just diabetes.
Oh yeah. Okay. Okay.
Well, it's not diabetes. It's
sorry.
I'm really weirdly anal about what I eat.
Since you were young?
For probably the last 30 years.
Oh.
Yeah, I got into Shotokan karate about almost 30 years ago, and it kind of became a big part of my like lifestyle, along with like eating and training and all that kind of stuff.
Huh?
I'm a big martial arts nut.
You cut out sugar entirely in your life?
As much as I can.
Wow. So you drink
like
coffee black?
I'll use like monk fruit sweeteners and things like that.
Okay.
So, because I have a really wicked sweet tooth, but I really, really try to stay away from sugars, and it's one of the reasons why it didn't break my heart too much to not be able to drink a whole lot anymore, because that's pure sugar. So, but with what I've dealt with in the last 2 years, it's kind of important to. Well, I had a doctor tell me, they're like, if you didn't live the lifestyle you live, you would have died. So,
wow. And try telling that to all the smokers and alkies out there that are still doing what they love and live.
Oh, yeah. Nah, growing up, my father was a chain smoker, and great man, loved him, but that was a big thing that I always it was like, no, dude, that's no bueno. Cannot deal with that.
Yeah, my mom was a smoker, and so I just didn't like it. Kind of like growing up, I see it and stuff. But she did it. She smoked in a very weird way. Right? She would take a cigarette, light it up, and she would take the burnt end, and that's what she stuck in her mouth. She wouldn't inhale, but she would blow.
That's bizarre.
Really weird.
Huh?
That is very strange.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I noticed like people who do that, it's because they want to erase the trace of smoke.
Huh.
That doesn't erase it.
Like it was just weird. Like they trained her to hide it, so they do an inverse smoking, which is really
so strange.
It's really creepy. It is so wrong in every way.
and she did that for her whole life.
Huh?
Yeah.
We have legal weed here in Spokane, Washington. So I smoke a little bit of that before I go to bed, but that's about as rough as I get in my old age.
Oh, because I was gonna say, so now that you guys have to quit, drinking, what do you do to mellow out? So it's just weed? That's it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like here where I live, weed technically isn't legal. Medical weed is. But because of our proximity to Metropolis, Illinois, where it is legal, pretty much the cops are like, whatever. Just don't let us see you. Don't let us see you try to resell it. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
Because like I've taken my wife. I don't smoke the stuff, but my wife smokes down a lot, and I've taken her over to Metropolis to the dispensary, and we've actually seen Kentucky cops there picking up their stash. And it's just like they walk out and they see my Kentucky plates, and I'm just like, "Hey, you!" And they're like, "Hey, man." I'm like, "Okay, we're cool." So yeah, it's one of those things. It's like it's not legal, but nobody cares.
Yeah, interesting.
So are you bothered by the smell? Because it really smells, weed.
I'm not. I don't like it. Like my wife steps outside the house and smoke it, or she'll do like the gummies they've got over there, or she'll vape it. The vape doesn't smell as bad, so that's much better. But yeah, I personally don't smoke anything, barely drink, don't eat sugar. I'm boring.
But you're happy though, right? You enjoy life,
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, my big thing is like being able to work out. I mean, that's every day. I'm in the gym at least 2 hours a day every day.
Okay. So you do like weight training?
Yeah, weight training and swimming.
Oh, swimming. Nice.
Yes, that was well. When I had my stroke, one of the things that I read about in the hospital that was like recommended was water therapy. So when we left the hospital, I was in for 6 weeks. The day we left, I told my wife, I was like, "We're not going home." She's like, "What do you mean?" I was like, "We're going to the gym." And so when I left the hospital, we went straight to the gym, and I went in and it's pool. So that was a really good thing. They had told me I'd never walk again and I would never use my left arm again, which I did not accept that. And yeah, the water training and lifestyle and all that kind of stuff is.
All right, let me ask you then. If you like the weight training, what part of your body do you like working out the best?
Oh, definitely my arms. Definitely arms and chest. Yeah.
You just feel like stress relief. It's the easiest one. Like, why do you like it so much?
No, full disclosure, I like it because whenever my muscles get pumped, my wife loves it.
Oh, okay.
So I'm like, there we go. There you go. I mean, why the hell else do you do this crap? I mean, you do it for loving, man. So there you go. Now, I like doing upper body, and I miss karate. I can't hardly train like I used to with it because my left arm doesn't fully work yet, but it's on its way. But probably my favorite thing actually is CrossFit sled. The CrossFit sled, man, that's a test, and that's fun. So,
what is the CrossFit swim? What do you have to do?
CrossFit sled.
Sled.
It's a metal sled that you stack weights on, and then you put this belt on that hooks to it, and you can either push it or you pull it. And when they were telling me I'd never walk again, one of the things I started doing was forcing myself to pull a CrossFit sled, because it would first off, it would work my heart and it would give me a good all over cardio workout. And it would put a kind of stress on my left leg that I couldn't get anywhere else. And I credit that exercise with, you almost can't tell that I have anything wrong with me now when I walk, because, it's like I've recovered most of my walking ability. And a lot of that is because of the CrossFit sled. That and swimming.
Okay, do you do planks at all then? You can't do planks because of your arm, the left side then.
No, well, I've gotten the arm back to where I can. I can plank. I can do some push-ups. I've gotten the left arm back to where I'm benching about a 155 right now.
Damn.
I do. I put these things on because the fingers on my left hand don't work is the big thing. So when I lift, I put these straps on my wrist that have a metal hook under it that goes under your palm. They call them monkey grips. And with the monkey grips on, I'll do a 360-pound shrug or about a 400-pound deadlift.
What?
So, and it's my whole thing. Like the whole thing about it for me is just it's like to the doctors. In my head, I'm always talking to the doctors. Like, you said I would never walk or use that arm again. Look at me now.
Nice.
That's that. Like that kind of thing. Spite drives me. Really
yeah. Total oppositional disorder.
Oh yeah, totally. Like what? What? You're saying I can't do so? You're saying I can't? Oh,
yeah.
No. That's not acceptable. Not acceptable.
Nice.
Won't put up with it.
All right.
Very inspiring.
We got $100 bid on the bride. So thanks for that, Mike.
Yes.
Oh, nice.
So let's go around the room and take a look at what we have here.
Yeah.
Starting with Mog's Batgirl. He's looking for a bid on that. And I think I got it started at 50.
I think 60.
Yeah, I did, but I misquoted it, so that's fine. Okay, so we're gonna place a bid on that. $50 in the comments. We'll do that right. Next, let's take a look at Fang Fang. She's working on a Jubilee in her Butterflies Tears sketchbook.
So it's already finished. I'm doing the second one. No one says so. I'm just do the Snow White.
Oh, very nice.
So Jubilee in the first one, if you want that. Snow White in the second one.
Yep.
Okay, these are both inside her Butterflies Tears book, so you'll get all that starting at $100 each. So you can go ahead and place a bid on that in the comments.
Those are nice.
What else is in the book?
Okay, so you get that's a good deal there.
Yeah.
Let's look at Sergeant Slaughter. That's looking really good right there.
I know.
Look at that. Okay. And we're looking for a bid of 50 on that.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it's got it's colored, nicely done. What size is that again, Zach?
It's a sketch cover for House of Slaughter.
Oh, that's right. It's a sketch cover. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Better yet, got it on the sketch cover.
Not
You can get that
not a
graded.
GI Joe related comic. I just like a good fun.
Yeah, so we've done that too. We put characters on titles that aren't really related, but I don't know. It seems like, and I was having this discussion with Mog earlier today too. Is like, it seems like they may not really care on what cover it is, just that.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I noticed. People don't even. You can do actual like this other character, like a DC character and a Marvel character, and they don't seem to know. They don't seem to care. It's the.
I one time had a commission at C2E2. A guy wanted me to do it was like a Justice League cover. It's completely unrelated, but he wanted me to draw the Hulk dressed up like Jack Skellington.
Yes.
That's so fun.
Yeah. Mog has done what was it? A Dragon Ball? Oh, One Piece character on an Aquaman cover, sketch cover. Yeah. So it gets really offbeat sometimes.
Or like the Magic the Gathering.
Oh yeah, on a Magic the Gathering book. Sketch cover.
And then I would do it was weird like Hela.
Oh yeah, that's right, the Hela
like
one.
The Thor girl. Like
yeah.
it's just like weird, but it doesn't. You know what? I did that myself. Nobody asked me to do it. I did it, and it just sold because it's like, oh, it's green and magic and black.
It just kind of worked for that one.
That's when I realized, people don't seem to really.
Yeah.
They're not feel about it.
And I was scared that it wasn't going to go at all because I thought it was just kind of like offbeat match up with the book, but it's still sold.
Oh, yeah.
So really surprised. Yeah.
Right.
Doesn't matter what it is, just make it cool.
Yeah, someone brings you a My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. I want a Ghost Rider.
You know, I met this man, and he changed my perspective about My Little Pony. Like, apparently, it's really good story. And he kept asking me from that day on every year, like, did you watch it? I'm like, oh, not yet. Like, it's so good.
Did you encounter a brony?
No.
Oh Lord.
They still around, bronies?
Oh, yeah.
I think bronies are eternal. I think anything that cringy is going to be eternal.
They can't kill it.
It just won't die.
Wow.
Hey man, if that's what floats your goat, then you're good.
Yep. There's all kinds out there. It's not my cup of tea, but hey.
Yeah. I'm more of a Rainbow Bright man myself.
Care Bears, baby. Care Bears.
Care Bears. I did watch Care Bears when I was a kid.
Oh, dude. You ever see there was a parody of them called the Scare Bears that was really cool.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that.
Yeah.
Hey, what size is that, Eva?
11 by 17.
Okay, there you go. 11 by 17. It is currently at 110. The lieutenant has placed a bid on that. Okay.
So, Patrick, because since you like coloring and you're a painter, you started painting. Do you still like watercolor and all of that? That's how you started, right? So
I tried doing traditional painting when I was in high school and stuff like that, but I liked the process. I didn't like the mess, the using liquid as an art tool. I was a pencil guy. So when I learned Photoshop, that's when I realized, I can do painting like this. So that's when I realized that I could, really do that. So.
Oh my God. Are you like you like things clean, like neat?
Yeah, I just didn't. I never liked having to buy a bunch of like materials, and if you have Photoshop, you don't have to constantly buy canvases and paints and all those expensive things that a starving artist can't always afford.
Yeah.
Let's see. Let's scoot that a little closer. There you go. Get a little better look at her.
That's really cool.
Oh, is that your wife when she gets mad at you? Yeah.
No, my wife's Asian.
Hey.
No. My wife's a 5'10" Filipino lady.
Woohoo!
That's tall for a Filipino.
Yes, it is. It's hilarious because her mother is like, I don't know, 4'9". It's just the funniest crap ever. I love it. She's got a brother who's about my size though, so I'm like, I keep telling him, I'm like, you guys are part Samoan. You're not,
probably, yeah.
You've got something else going on there.
Is this your first issue of Brides you're putting out, or have you done more?
Yes, this is Brides. I've stopped calling them issues. It's Brides Volume 1.
Okay,
and then the series. The way it's planned, it'll be Brides 1, 2, and 3. Then I haven't titled the next 3 issues, but the last 3 issues in the series of 9 is called Hunters. So it's Brides. The working title on the second one is Predators, but I'm not gonna do that for obvious reasons. But it would go Brides, Predators, Hunters, and then whatever that middle one's gonna be at. I know, like, I've got the story worked out, but I just have to sit and like brainstorm on it. I've been so caught up in doing the Kickstarter and everything that I just haven't thought about it. Well, thank you.
All right.
150 on Eva.
That's
right. Take my girl home.
There's a little bid war going on your piece, so that's great to see.
Sweet. I
right
appreciate
now, Lieutenant has control back again.
Nice.
Ilya's thinking about getting in on that, and Mike is probably getting ready to launch another bid on there as well.
Well, I appreciate it. That's that always, that kind of stuff really means a lot to me. I get so stupid with this kind of stuff because, like, I don't know. I've been doing this stuff since I was like 19, and it is never not sentimental to me. Even like, and it's terrible because I know it makes me a terrible businessman, but it's like I love doing this stuff. I love what I do, and so there's always a massive emotional investment in it for me. So.
I want to get back with Patrick. Can you tell us more about your Thunder Beast?
Yes, please.
Oh yeah, it's something I've been working on for about a year. I started writing it after my dog died because I had a dog for 17 years and I loved him so much, and I kept promising him as he was getting old and about to die that we'd have adventures in heaven and we'd be a thunder god and a dragon in heaven. So I thought. After he died, I was so heartbroken and depressed. I just decided I would make a comic book based on that idea of us being in heaven and becoming like superheroes, kind of, And so that's how it started. But of course, things like that grow into other big, huge things. And so it's basically the story of a guy who finds a way to astrally project himself into heaven. And when he gets there, he's on a quest to find the spirit of his friend that he had left him, and but along the way he discovers that he was a god all along, but he had been cursed to become a mortal man many thousands of years ago, and so now he's on a quest to kind of reignite his divinity within himself. And along the way there's a bunch of other gods and demons and a war in heaven that spills over into hell, and all sorts of all the stuff that I love to draw and paint is just like in there, it's just
wow.
Yeah.
So this really is a project of love for you.
Yeah, your art was amazing. That's why we approached you. Like it's, I mean, all of you guys are amazing, but just right now we're highlighting Patrick. So Patrick,
thank you.
It is freaking amazing,
so much. Yeah, I've been doing this for so long, and I feel like this is like everything I've been training for my whole life was I kind of put it into this story. And I need to take a lesson from some of the other Kickstarter people here who are doing really well on their Kickstarters, because it's doing okay, but it's like I really need to get better at this. But I just love making this story, and I hope I can keep doing it.
Yeah,
so.
Of course. So what kind of dog was the boy that passed away?
Chewy. Yeah, he was a silky terrier, which is like a big Yorkie kind of.
Okay.
Oh my God! You know what? I'm babysitting. I mean, not anymore, but on and off. Sometimes I have to babysit a Yorkie. And I noticed one of the trait is they're so clingy. They follow you like a shadow everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, did your dog do that?
Yeah, we were very rarely apart, so that's why I was so. And working from home, you kind of become attached to that little being with you at all times, and so like I was really
Did he do this thing where even if you go into the bathroom, he follows you into the bathroom?
Oh, yeah, my new puppy does that too, Peanut, and his name is Thunder Fang actually, but I call him Peanut because it's a little cute.
Thunder Fang, that's great. I love it.
Thanks. But yeah,
well, I have a question for Patrick.
Sure.
Yes.
Black Sabbath or Judas Priest?
Ooh, that's a tough one.
Because I'm smelling a fellow metalhead here.
yeah. I was always a little bit more of a Metallica guy, a little bit, but I like Judas Priest. I think I'm more familiar with Judas Priest than Black Sabbath.
Really? All right.
I love both of them though. What about you? Which one is your guy?
Oh, for me, it's always Sabbath. Always
really?
Sabbath.
Okay.
Yeah, always Sabbath. And Sabbath specific albums, Sabbath Volume 4, or anything with Ronnie James Dio and the vocals.
Oh, really?
Dio vocals. I mean, Ozzy, God love him, laid the groundwork, but Dio is, man.
Yeah, I didn't even know that Dio did work with Black Sabbath. I knew that him as a solo guy, but not as a Black Sabbath guy.
Yeah, before he was solo, he was with when Richie Blackmore left Deep Purple, he founded a thing called Rainbow. That was with Dio.
Okay.
And some people say that like there's a whole subgenre of metal called fantasy metal, And they say that started with Rainbow and Dio. And then Dio took that over to Black Sabbath. And then everybody knows Dio solo. And, all of his fantasy stuff, man. It's just, a D&D nerd who grew up in the 80s, listening to metal, you're going to adore Dio.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, guys, we're gonna take a short break here. When we come back, we're gonna get back with James and hear a little bit more about his other project, Omega 11. We'll get into that, right? So don't go away. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
Ask your local comic shop to add Battle Quest comics to your pull list today. Sure, comic books are beautiful, but underneath, there's something more authentic and exciting. The original art. See the pencils, the lines, the shading, as if you were there in the studio watching the artist work. Getting a peek at comics' backstage is easy with the original art experience.
All right, Friday night, guys. Thank you for being here. To be doing anything, the fact that you're here means the world to me.
Nick's pieces are always value priced with your budget in mind, for the beginning collector to the veteran.
And this is gorgeous. You got Aquaman and Mira.
Join the original art experience with Nick and our friendly crew of regulars, even if it's just to enjoy the art. Fridays at 7. It's all part of the experience.
We know you probably get a lot of emails, but could you please make sure to sign up for our mailing list? We don't send a lot of emails, and we try not to bother you. We just want to give you the best information about all the cool stuff that's going on around here. Sign up on our website, theexplive.com.
Hey guys, thanks again for coming back and joining us up here on SketchUp. If you haven't yet, make sure you hit that follow button so that way we can continue to bring you wonderful shows. Like tomorrow in the morning, you can get on to Order Up, the Final Cutoff show. That's every Fridays at 9 a.m. and that's 12 p.m. Eastern, right? So that's a show you want to get in on. So we have James Aquilone with us today. You just finished Omega 11. Can you tell us about that project?
Yeah, so we just finished the second Kickstarter for the Omega 11 second issue. It would probably be for a 4-issue series. Okay. So in this issue, well, Dr. Omega is a time traveler, okay, and he likes to go back in time and steal famous artifacts like Excalibur and the Philosopher's Stone. And after he steals the Excalibur, he messes up time. So all the different dimensions are now converging on each other. So now he has to gather up this team to try to save the Omniverse. And because the dimensions are converging, we have what we call amalgams. So there's all these characters that are mashed up. Mm-hmm. So we have Orlok Holmes instead of Sherlock Holmes. So he's the mashup of Count Orlok and Sherlock Holmes.
Okay. Oh, I like that.
We have Moriarty Mouse, mashup of Professor Moriarty and Mickey Mouse, and Phantom Lupine, which is a mashup of Phantom of the Opera and Arsène Lupin. So we have all these crazy characters, and we got Sinbad is a mashup with Popeye.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Sinbad the Sailor Man.
Yeah.
Boy, this is a really different kind of story from what you been doing. Why?
Well, Zach came up with this idea. So he pitched the idea to me, and it was, I love the idea, and he's really good at coming up with these characters and the character designs. So it was really fun. So so it's like, you know, how can you say no to that? You know, so I love pulp stuff. And this is like, you know, we get to play with all these, you know, all these public domain characters. So we're always we're trying to come up with ideas like, well, let's mash up, you know, Zorro with Conan the Barbarian, and you know, so we have probably like twice as many characters that we either rejected or will probably you know, reveal at some other point. So I mean, it's just been a lot of fun to do. But yeah, this is very different from the Darkest Depths.
Yeah, this sounds like a really fun book to read and stuff. Yeah, messing around with time and Excalibur. Yeah, you got me there. Okay, all right. Okay, the bids are still okay. We still have. Oh yeah, if you want to place bids, go ahead and do so in the comments. I still got about a half an hour left on there. Right. So if there's anything that you guys want to see, let me know. You know what? Let's just go around the room and see what we got. Let's look at not the Batgirl, but let's look at Bride's Eva. Okay. And I believe that currently has a bid of, checking my notes here, of 150 by the lieutenant. Yeah, okay, there you go. And now let's look at Sergeant Slaughter. We're still looking for the opening bid on that for 50. So if you want to go ahead and do that, you can place that bid in the comments. That is on a blank sketch cover, right? And it is colored. That's looking really good there with the coloring. So that's going to be a steal at that price, guys. Go ahead and place that bid. Okay. And then Thong, she's got two ready for you here, Jubilee and Snow White. Right.
What does the rest of her book look like inside there?
Go ahead and show that, Thong.
So 130 pages comic book. The first part is colored.
Yeah. Inside the book, just show us what the art looks like on there.
It's a manga style. It's a full love story based on Chinese ancient myth. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
Yeah.
Can you get in, Thong?
A lot of work.
Nice.
Very cool.
How many pages is that? How many pages is that book again?
35. 135.
There you go. Okay. There you go. So it's a lot of reading to do there, guys. There's the link for Omega 11 if you guys want to check that out. That's in the comments. Okay. And Fang is looking for a bid of $100 on each of those. So if anybody wants to open that up, you can do so in the comments. And now we can look at this Batgirl that Mog is working on. Looking for a bid of 50, so that's another steal of a deal there. Okay, and yeah, that looks like that's on a 9x12. All right, so all that is available today. And just to let you know, for next week we have Arthur Bleine, who was an animator for Simpsons and Futurama. He's wrapping up his series called California Inc., and he's also bringing his artist with him, Dave Law, who's actually been on the show several times already. This will be Arthur's first time being on the show, so we're going to welcome him. Also joining them next week is Austin Eckert, who is a Phoenix artist. Some of you guys might know him if you go to some of the local shows there, like the Phoenix Fan Fusion, which is coming up in 2 weeks, and Mog will be there as a guest. So we're happy to be doing that for them. If you're going to be there, let's hear it in the comments. We'd like to see who else is going. Hey Zach, what are you going? Oh, what cons do you have coming up that you'll be attending?
I haven't really signed up for too many. I do a bunch of local shows usually. Like I'm usually at PureCon and stuff like that. I have a little tiny one called Silcon that is just in the town over, and I might be at something called Odd Fest. That's in Tuscola, Illinois. But yeah, I didn't do C2E2 this year, or I didn't do Kansas City, which are the ones I usually do. I kind of been so busy with comics that I haven't had much time for cons.
Understand that sometimes these small shows are a lot of fun and can be financially as good as some of the big ones. So
Right.
we do like doing some of those shows, you know.
Well, like
And we have our favorites. They're small. But good.
The overhead of big city cons is so crazy that you could make just a quarter of the amount at a small show and still net more money, just because you're not paying parking and all the other kind of overpriced expenditures.
I agree.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why we don't do San Diego.
There are a couple of stores that I've done in-stores at, that the in-stores at these places, and I've done multiples, and every time I make more at these in-stores than I do a lot of the cons.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Some of them are so lucrative.
if the stores know how to promote, we do really well there, and they've got a good event list of things going on, and we're fortunate that we have several stores here in the area that do that and do want us to come back all the time. But they can be very, very profitable, almost pretty much as good, if not better, than some of the shows that we do on a regular basis. That costs us a lot of overhead.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How about you, James?
I'm not signed up for any cons this year, but I'm looking into it, so I might do something later in the summer and the fall.
And Les has got a bunch of local cons that he does already. How about you, Patrick?
Nothing signed up for now, but I'm hoping that in this next following year I'll have a little bit something to promote when I go out on the road. So that's what I'm hoping for. So yeah.
Well, as good as the art that you guys do, I don't think you really need to have anything going. It's just like people will see like what you guys have, and they'll be drawn to the art that you guys are putting out there. You're all pretty really, really good. Thank you. In my book. But Fang does quite a bit of shows, and she continues to do a lot of them, and does pretty good. And she's not really that big of a name out there, or have the history like you guys do. And here's another about it too is Drew Moss. Thanks to Drew. If you got anything to say, drop it in the comments.
Yeah, I think I think Kickstarter is the way if you don't attend cons to make art your full time. I think you do Kickstarters or you go to cons, supplementing with also commercial gigs. I think I don't know. Do you guys agree with that?
For me, it's all commercial gigs.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like just taking contracts from people to draw their books for them.
Yeah.
Well, I think in the long run, that's the better way to go because you get the credit for that. It's hard to get credited for a commission unless something happens with it.
Yeah.
The
long run, I think Kickstarter is really like what you said, Mel, is the way to go, right?
Well, that seems to be the way to go right now. Yeah. And that's the thing is that you can work for somebody and do their characters, their IP properties, right? But now we have it where you can do your own. Right?
That's where I'm hoping. That's where I'm hoping to be over the course of like the next year. It's going to take a little time to build up to it, but of course, I think Brides has been a good start.
Right. But if there's one thing that we've learned coming out of like the 80s and the 90s, and we see guys that have worked it, stayed with their passion, with their characters, you can see the success that they have by just being consistent, persistent, and stubborn, if you will. Guys like Brian Pulido, Billy Tucci, all those guys, they've done their work. David Mack, even though Kabuki isn't going on anymore, he still continues, and he still kind of gets the rewards for that.
David's from right up the road from me too, man. He's from Louisville, Kentucky.
Really?
That always.
Oh, now he's in Venice Beach, California.
I'll always throw that out there because I sometimes think he's tried to hide it, but yeah. David and I used to hang out at a La Rosa's pizza shop back in the early '90s.
What?
Oh, yeah.
I thought he was New York or something.
No, he's a Kentucky boy.
Right.
He masks it. Everybody
Oh,
is
yeah,
from Kentucky. When we leave, we learn to mask it, and some of us never drop the mask, and then some of us want to rip that damn thing off as quick as we can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because look at him now. He's become an ambassador. He's become a prominent artist that has gone beyond comics into the movie industry as well. So he's stepped up. You know,
he's done well for himself.
Yeah, but I think that's part of the formula. Is that if this is your passion and you can stay with it, and that love continues to show in the work that you do and the love that you have for your characters and the story that you have, people are going to eventually notice that, right? And you can do something good with it, or something good will come of it. So I'm a firm believer in that, and that applies to pretty much anything that you do, no matter what walk of life. If you can show the love and passion for what you do, that is going to get noticed, and that'll go a long, long way.
That's why I feel so much kindred spirit with everybody who makes comic books, because what it takes to pick up a pencil and pen to
Yeah.
take a comic book and put it out into the world, that takes a unique mindset and a passion that if you're a normal person that doesn't do that kind of thing, you might not understand why you sacrifice so much to do this kind of thing.
Yeah. It's one thing when you put something of yourself out there, and then you have to deal with the critique that you may not want, but it's gonna come.
Isn't it scary?
Yeah, that's why it's one thing to put it out there. It's that fear of the work getting rejected, not being loved. You know, because I've seen guys, they'll get 1,000 great remarks, right? And they get one guy that just shoots it down, and it brings their whole world down. Like their world is a piece of nothing. Not true.
No,
but they're so fragile.
I meant it more like scary, because one thing is like for me to do art and show it, it's kind of easy because they can't really tap into my mind. But then if I actually write a story and do something really even, it's like they can see me almost like naked. And that for me is scary, because there's many things nobody really wants to show their 100% of themselves. And it's kind of showing that part that you keep it hidden. And that for me is frightening. So, do you guys relate to what I said?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
When you're like, I can take a script from somebody and draw it, and that's fine. Yay, cool, pay me, done.
I like to create story. It's a way to express yourself, to feel like,
When it's doing it for the money is one thing, but when it's doing it because you've got something you need to get out, that's a whole other thing.
That's something else. Yeah,
I agree.
Got to follow that.
I don't know, but there's still this fear, like,
you
oh my
want to
God,
spread your idea, because of when the conversation happens, not everyone agree with you, but once you spread the idea out, there always has somebody agree with you. You know, that you always find somebody. Yeah, you always. That's the power of the comics or the show media. They give you the feedback. Don't always think of the negative parts. Embrace the positive parts.
Right. That's the right attitude, but unfortunately, not everybody can pull that off. But that is the thing, right? Like for me, I do try to have an open mind and try to understand what's motivating this person to do this character, to do this story. What is it, right? And let them tell it. It may not be in the best way, but I'll try to understand what they're saying and try to see if I can get into the concepts or what they're trying to push out there. There just seems to be too much criticism, trying to shoot down everything that like comes out. And I just remember a time, even if I was just a kid, and you'd listen to your friends, they tell these stories, and it may not have been told in a bad way, but you just go, "Oh, really? Did that happen?" You get excited about it, and I try to keep it like that. So it's like when I go to watch a movie, I go there to be entertained. I don't really care how it's going to come out. Just entertain me with as much as you can, and I'll walk out there feeling good.
I had someone close to me once said, and they were kind of half joking, half not. They said, where do you get off thinking that you've got something to put out there that other people are going to want? How do you get the I don't know, the courage to put that out? And I said, well, it's not courage. They said, what makes you think you're so special that you've got something that people are going to want? Nothing. And I said, I said, it's not about being special.
Yeah.
In fact, it's the opposite. I said, because if the idea that I have is something that I feel strongly enough about to put work into, I'm not a special snowflake. So that means there's probably somebody else out there who would dig that same thing.
Yeah.
So
I think you have to make a comic book that you love, and then just if other people love it too, that's great. But you have to make it something that you're passionate about yourself first.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Totally agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because if you don't have that passion and it doesn't show, people are not going to believe in what you're doing.
I think you can fake it. You can fake it, and because especially if all of us are competent enough to fake great art, but I can, I think you can't lie. The love, it always shows through a little bit more. If you like this piece more and you really enjoyed it, people can tell. I don't know why, but they can.
It's like being an actor. It's like as artists, it's like when we take on a script from somebody, it might not be something you're super excited about, but an actor doesn't always like the role they have to play, but they have to find something in it they connect with to make it work. But then when you're doing your own thing, you're already connected to that, and it's going to shine through.
Yeah.
Yeah, I try. People that come into this industry or at any job, you're always going to get stuff that you're not going to like to do. Okay. And I told Mog, like getting into this industry, right? 95% is work. 5%, can be very, very pleasure, but 95% is going to be work. So whenever you get something and you don't like it, find something about it that you can do, that you can like. So that way it won't be so bad and won't feel too much of like a task and a burden, right? I think if you can do that, it'll make things go easier, and it'll work out better.
Like what you guys were saying earlier too about how when you're putting your own stuff out there and it's personal. Like I've been really lucky to work on some big projects like Star Wars and Predator at Dark Horse, and and I worked on the God of War video game for a while when I was doing advertising, and that's all really cool stuff and it's fun. But when you create your own story and you put that out into the world, that's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
It's a different level of passion,
Yes, I think you get what I mean, because especially because if you're known to do these art behind these big projects that everyone loves, and is it kind of like that where your signature is already there, kind of, and then you do your own thing, and you have no idea, and also in the same time, it's like you're showing yourself that you never exposed to, right? For example, say you always did like Transformer stuff. But what if secretly inside you like to draw Hello Kitty? That's all you want, like beautiful kitty stuff. What's wrong with that? Like you like pink and stuff. I mean, it's not. What if you like that and then you've never shown that, and then you're finally showing all of that of you, and that's frightening, right? It's like
I feel like a great director. They start with doing some fan art things, but later they creating their own things. They have their unique effect and unique kinky stuff. They even do greater. I feel like that way. Yeah, I lots of great art director, like movie director. They used to start just doing small things like fan art or work for a big name, but later they're doing their own things. It's more passion and more like a greater the work. That's how they put more into it and stands by it. Yeah, they're not just direct; they're more like become an artist.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay.
Yeah.
How do you get out of bed, Zach?
Huh?
Do you get up easily, or do you have to kind of like wake yourself up?
No, I work for myself, so I just lay in bed until I absolutely have to get out. I stay up until I'm almost passing out, and then I stay in bed until I'm just like,
Oh my God.
hurting.
That's exactly what Mog does.
So Zach, it's like this, right? You hate falling asleep, but you hate waking up more. Kind of like
Yes.
that.
Oh
That's
yeah.
my life.
100%.
I feel the same.
It becomes my burden to wake Mog up.
Are you guys night owls when you work, or do you like to work during the day?
Mornings.
Well, we're more night owls, but nowadays, I don't know. Mel's been trying to wake me up so early. I don't know anything anymore.
Deadlines. Yeah.
I'm in the shop drawing by 5 a.m.
Nice.
Oh,
but that's you because you're a freak of nature. But yes.
Yeah.
5 a.m. to 5 p.m. every day, 12 hours drawing.
Wait, was this before your stroke or after your stroke?
That's been that way for the last probably 20 years.
So it is after your stroke. Okay.
I grew up on a farm, and we had to get up with the sun every day. So
yeah, but the thing is, I'm wondering, is partially because you eat no sugar, you cut down sugar.
Yeah.
And you exercise like a maniac.
Yeah.
So I think something about it, your body just gets into that nice rhythm, and then
my wife laughed like it was weird when she and I met because I have this, for personal reasons, I have this habit of like being hyper disciplined. So like everything is about discipline. It's like my day, like I start my day at 4 a.m. I'm drawing by 5 a.m. The first page of the day is done by 9. The second page of the day is done by noon. 12:30, noon to 12:30 is lunch and time with my wife. Stretch a little bit, come back in. By 2 to 2:30 is the third page of the day. By 5 p.m., fourth page of the day is done. Then I leave and go to the gym. Every day. That's every day. And I find that like having my days regimented and disciplined like that, it was something I experimented with about 20 years ago. And I found like it was completely counter to what you would think of being a creative person. But I found that once I encapsulated my days like that, then it was like every block of the day that was meant for a thing then gave that thing its space to play in. And inside that space, I could just cut loose. And it's like, okay, I've got this much time. I'm going to make something badass during this period of time. Go. And you just go. And it becomes a habit. And after a while, it's like, yeah, this is how we burn out, tons and tons of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
okay, but what time do you fall asleep though? If you
I'm in bed usually by 8:30 or 9 o'clock. Like right now, I'm throwing myself off doing this tonight because it's almost 11 p.m. here right now.
Oh my God, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's you guys are on the West Coast, so the whole time zone thing always messes with me.
Drew Moss here says he does the same thing like you. So he wakes up super early and then goes to sleep early, and then kind of like put it in blocks of his
Yeah.
How about you, James? What's your routine like?
My sleep schedule is crazy. I probably don't go to sleep till maybe 5 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then I have
You're
to
a total vampire. Right before the sun comes up.
No, I mean all my jobs, my day jobs have always been night jobs too. So I never had to do a 9 to 5 job. So I've never had to wake up at like 8 or 9 in the morning, which is great because I can't do that. So I sleep during the day. I wake up at like 2 in the afternoon and then I start. So yeah.
Yeah,
I don't
that's what I do. Me and James are chatting at 4
we're
a.m.
chatting.
Okay.
Yeah. So
All right, I want to thank. We're pretty much like out of time. Okay, but there's one question I gotta ask. This guy's been. I think he asked it 4 or 5 times in the comments already.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Les, do you know Tony Falk, also from Paducah?
Tony Falk.
Actor, if I'm not mistaken. Obviously not.
No,
Okay. And I want to thank you guys for coming on the show. It was really great to have you. Definitely would love to have you guys back on and hear more of what you guys have going on. Don't forget, next week we have Arthur Bouen, Dave Law, and Austin Eckert, who will be here next week. All right, so thanks again. And if you've got a bid in and you're the high bidder, don't forget to fill out that form, so that way we can get you to the right artist and you guys can collect on that. All right, everybody. Thanks again. Good night.
Thank you.
You guys have a wonderful weekend.
Thanks for having me on, man.
Later, y'all.
Yeah.
Join the party. Head over to our link tree to find all the links for everywhere the experience is all the time.